Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kat. I will be doing the mid-year freakout tag. I started doing this tag last year, and I think it's just a fun way to check in just to see where you are right now in your progress. So far in this year, I've read about 25 books, I think, which is pretty good for me. I'm very proud of that number. And I just want to reiterate that it really doesn't matter how many books you read. As long as you're reading, that's the most important thing. There are people who read 100 books a year. There are people who read one book a year. Just the reading part is all that matters. So just read good books, and as long as you're doing that, you're fine. I do want to apologize for the poor audio quality in my past two videos. I don't know what's going on. Whenever I record the videos, my audio sounds fine on my phone, on my computer, but once YouTube starts processing the video after I upload it, that's when the problems start to occur. So I don't know if it's the YouTube processing or what, but I'm trying different things and hopefully I can get the audio to work. Anyways, let's get started. Question 1 is favorite book of the year so far. For this, I have The King's Men, and this is book 3 in All for the Game series by Nora Sakovic. I've talked about this book previously. This is my first 6-star book ever. It gave me all the emotional kickback. It gave me all the closure for all the characters. And seeing all the characters conquer their traumas and their fears, and just how the family dynamic played out in between all the characters and their friendships, and even the romance between our two characters, it all worked out brilliantly and it was fleshed out, and I just love the closure we got for these characters who've experienced so much in their lives. The King's Men was such a great closeout for that trilogy and such a great setup for Jean's trilogy. Question number 2 is favorite sequel. For this, I have 2 books. First, I have The Wicked King, which is book 2 in the Folk of the Air series. The Wicked King was such an excellent book. I really loved Jude's development. She went through so much shit and she still comes out on top. I love her strength. I love her fearlessness and her bravery and her intelligence. And even the side of her that's manipulative and conniving, The Wicked King really showcased a lot of her qualities and strengths. The second book I have is The Princess Gambit, and this is book 2 in the Captive Prince trilogy. The Princess Gambit was so good. We just get more of an insight into our two characters, Laurent and Damon, and we also see them getting closer together and exploring each other and exploring their relationship and their traumas together. I also love the politics in this book, and overall I think it was such an improvement from the first book. The first book, I felt like there was a lot of writing and pacing issues, but the second book really improved upon that. So I thought it was just a good book overall. Question number 3 is new release you haven't read yet. There are a ton of new releases I have not read yet. The list is long, but I haven't found a new release that I have an inkling to read yet. Number 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So you've probably heard me say before in previous videos that I am someone who does not keep track of release dates. I just find out about books coming out through the grapevine. I never keep track of them. But there are 3 books this time around that I pre-ordered on Amazon, and I can't wait to have them in my hands, and I have been keeping track of their release dates. I know, shocker. First I have is Strength of the Few. This is book 2 in Will of the Many by James Islington. I read Will of the Many last year in December. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I know this is a good book. I just read it at the wrong time. When I read this book, it was during a time where I was going through a lot of personal stuff and family stuff. This book was not the escape that I wanted. For that reason, I didn't really enjoy it, but I am going to reread The Will of the Many in preparation for Strength of the Few. As I was reading this book last year, I knew that in a different situation, under different circumstances, I would have enjoyed this book way more. But considering what was going on in my life at the time, I couldn't really enjoy it. So hopefully the second time around when I read it, I will enjoy it. Alchemized by Senlin Yu. So Manacled is the first fiction story I've ever read, and I fell in love and fell apart at the same time. Senlin Yu is a master when it comes to words and evoking strong, visceral emotions. What Manacled did to me is something that a lot of stories haven't done to me. So Someone New really crafted something unique there. For those who don't know, Manacled is a Draco Hermione fanfic. It has been taken down from AO3, which is the website it was originally published on, and it was picked up by a traditional publisher. So now it's called Alchemized. It just has some tweaks here and there, like character names and stuff. But most of the story I heard is still consistent from Manacled. I want to support Someone New and what they've done with Manacled. I don't think I'll read Alchemized right away. I don't think I can handle the emotional trauma, but I will read it sometime down the road. I'm just happy to have this physical copy of a very beloved story. Then last, Secret of Secrets. So this is the next book in the Robert Langdon series by Dan Brown. The Robert Langdon series is one of my favorite series ever. Some of you guys might have heard of it, probably more familiar with the book, The Da Vinci Code. I've been reading this series, starting with The Da Vinci Code, back when I was like super young. It's been almost 10 years since the last book in the series came out, and honestly, I gave up hope. I thought there would be no more books in the series. I randomly looked up Dan Brown for some reason, and then I saw that he's coming out with this new Robert Langdon book in the series, and that got me so excited. Like, the little girl in me who enjoyed the series felt so excited. So I'm really looking forward to this. Basically, it's about Robert Langdon, who is a religious symbologist. So he studies religious symbols. He's called upon to investigate certain cases that have to do with religion and religious symbols. So Robert Langdon is called upon the case to give his expertise. Question number 5 is biggest disappointment. The first very obvious one is Shifter romances the writer. The writing was so shallow and badly written, and these characters were also poorly written. The romance was insta-love, insta-lust, insta-whatever. I felt like there were so many stereotypes put into this book. For example, the main male character, he's supposedly of Mexican descent. His name is Alex Cruz. His mom comes to visit him, and she is portrayed as the most stereotypical Mexican mother. It was just kind of weird. I just haven't had that much luck with this series, but I'm going to continue reading it with the hope that I find that diamond in the rough somewhere. The second one is Never Lie by Frida McFadden. This is my first Frida McFadden book, and honestly, I think this wasn't the right book to start off. I did not like these characters. They felt so childish. There were so many plot holes, and the red herrings were excessive, and I felt like they were also misplaced. The plot twist, honestly, it was unpredictable. I didn't see it coming, but it wasn't like a good plot twist. It left me shrugging my shoulders, like I didn't care. But I'm willing to read more of a book so I can hopefully like something. Question number 6 is biggest surprise. For this, I have 2. I have a good surprise and I have a bad surprise. My bad surprise, we'll start off with that, was Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I gave this book a 2.5 star rating. First of all, I did not think that I would ever give a Brandon Sanderson book such a low rating. But lo and behold, I've heard such great things about Tress. I've heard that it's a whimsical, fun, enchanting book, and it is, but it wasn't for me. I felt like it was too slow, and it read like a slice of life book. I did appreciate Tress as a character. I appreciated her growth, but overall the book just wasn't for me, and this was definitely a surprise. But that does not mean I'm gonna give up on Brandon Sanderson. I know he's a wonderful writer. That doesn't mean I won't recommend it. If you like something slower, if you like something lighter, if you like something funny, and something that is whimsical and fairy tale like, then you should definitely give this book a try. Second surprise, which is a good surprise, is The Dark Day's Deceit by Alison Goodman. This is the last book in the Lady Helen Rexall series. Honestly, I thought I was going to hate this. I read the first book years ago, and I remember feeling lukewarm about it. Then I read the second book a couple years after that, did not like it. Did not like it. Oh my goodness, it was a struggle to get through that book. I decided to read this third book just so I can close out the trilogy and then give it away. But to my surprise, I did end up liking this book. It's kind of a happy surprise. I'm glad I liked it. I'm glad I didn't hate it. Question 7 is favorite new author. Definitely Nora Sakovich. She's a wonderful author, does great character work. C.S. Pacat is the second one, and they do wonderful dialogue scenes. The third one is Stuart Turton, who wrote The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I really like that book, mainly because of its writing style. I think Stuart Turton is a wonderful author, and their writing style was so well done. I love the way he described all these characters, because that book had a lot of different characters, but he was able to describe them so well and distinguish each of them from each other. I don't know if he's really my new favorite author because I haven't read more of his books. I think he has only 2 books published, I think. But I do want to read his other books so I can get a better feel of him. If his writing style is consistent, then he'll definitely be a new favorite author. Question 8 is new fictional crush. As usual, I do not have an answer. Question 9, new favorite character. I do have an answer for this. All the characters in the All for the Game series, of course, they have my heart and soul, even though they're questionable, their actions are questionable, and they're toxic to each other. They've done things that I don't agree with, but they still have my heart. Damon and Laurel from the Captive Prince trilogy, one of my favorite couples. They are just so good together. They're so strong on their own, but they are stronger together, and I love how they come together. It just makes sense. It doesn't feel forced. It feels so natural, and I think that's why I love them and love their romance so much. Of course, my girl Jude from the Folk of the Air series. Jude is a great character, such a strong female character, but she also has this softness to her. Very, very intelligent and very creative, very deceptive. And I love how she is basically twirling people around her fingers. She got them wrapped around her fingers. Love that for her and love to see what happens next. Question 10 is a book that made you cry. I have 2. First, I have The Sunshine Court. This is the first book in Jean's trilogy. So many moments of just tears streaming down my face while reading this book because we get flashbacks of Jean and his time when he was being tortured and abused and bullied. I just want John to be happy. Every time I read a scene of him experiencing a flashback or PTSD, my chest literally clenched. Along with that, The Golden Raven, more flashbacks, more PTSD, but in this book, we see Jean growing more and healing, and it's so lovely and sweet. Definitely made me cry seeing him happy, seeing him getting along with his new teammates and his roommates, and Jeremy. Loved seeing his healing, and I cannot wait for a 3rd book to come out. Question 11 is a book that made you happy. Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman is a book that made me happy. It's such a cute, light, fluffy romance book about Nick and Charlie. And then Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. This book was a good time, and it was fun and it was funny. When I first picked it up, I couldn't get into it, so I kind of soft DNF, and then I read some other books in between, and then when I picked it up a second time, I thoroughly enjoyed it, to my surprise. It's a fun murder mystery book. It definitely has that Sherlock Watson dynamic between our 2 characters, Anna and Din. Question 12 is most beautiful book cover that you either bought or received. I have a couple of books to share. First is the Hunger Games trilogy, which I bought in these new editions. I saw them at Target and decided to buy them because I didn't even have a copy of the Hunger Games. I also purchased Watch Me, which is the sequel or spin-off series to Tahereh Mafi's Shatter Me series. I typically don't pre-order special edition books, but I pre-ordered this because it has my favorite color, pink. It has these beautiful gilded holographic edges. I just thought the combination of the pink and the gold were combined really well together. Pink and gold is like one of my favorite combinations too. 2 books that I received recently from my beautiful, wonderful boyfriend is the Dance of Thieves duology by Mary E. Pearson. I thought these covers are so nice. They have almost this like filigree-like pattern, and they're just really nice covers. Like, I really like these designs on them. Finally, question 13, books you need to read in 2025. I have my whole freaking TBR that I need to read in 2025. But if I had to choose, definitely The Hunger Games. I need to read these books ASAP. It's a shame, really, that I have not read them. I've watched the movies, loved the movies, so I have no doubt that I will love the books too, and so many people already do, so I have no doubt I will also fall into that camp. I also have Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas, which I haven't started. I've been saying this since last year, I think, that I need to read Throne of Glass. I do want to get into Sarah J. Maas in general. I haven't read anything by her. And then I have Sword of Kaigen by Emma Wong. I have put this poor book on so many TBRs and I've not picked it up, which is completely on me. It's a matter of just getting into that headspace of reading this book. I've heard that it's an emotional journey. Every time I put Sword of Cayenne on TBR, I find myself not gravitating towards it. And so I guess it's just a matter of like when it's going to click and when I want to read it, which the time is not now. So hopefully soon, hopefully this year, I would love to. I have Dungeon Crawler Carl. Oh my god, I tried saying that 10 times really fast. I just recently finished watching Solo Leveling. I really liked that show, and Dungeon Crawler Carl sounds so similar to Solo Leveling that it seems like it'll be up my alley. It seems like a lot of people have been picking it up recently and have been enjoying it and having a really good time with it. So that's all I have for this tag. I tag all of you watching to do this tag as well. I would love to know how your reading year has been going so far. Thank you guys for watching. Please take care of yourselves. As always, you matter and your well-being matters. Please take care of you and take care of everyone else, and I'll see you next time. Bye.